ask you about AUM because as we were prepping early this morning on our show call, your AUM has soared. Is that just because of the rise in gold prices, or is that about new investment money coming in? Because that's quite a jump in 1 year.
It's both. We have one product that's an open-end product. We've had inflows and the price of gold has appreciated substantially. The other one is a closed-end product and it's all internal performance. So both, it's just a sign of the environment that we're in, right? We've been talking about this and views that have been on the fringes are moving more towards mainstream and this market isn't so huge. And so you have some outsized returns.
How much, though, are the flows increasing? I'm curious, how much of it is flows? How much is it a price appreciation?
Much of it is appreciation. Okay. Very notable. We had some significant inflows at the end of last week when we had this downdraft. And this was one of the signs that the long-term investor considered this a buying opportunity. I'm not going to predict what the price of gold is going to do tomorrow, but we clearly had some outstanding returns on the upside, but there seem to be cooler heads in some places, and we tend to attract a more long-term investor. Let's keep that in mind as well. The speculators tend to go to other products.
So let's get to your warning and to Michael Burry's warning. The interesting part that we're pointing out from the Michael Burry piece on the Bloomberg terminal, he's warning that Bitcoin's plunge could deepen into a self-reinforcing, quote, death spiral, inflicting lasting damage on companies that have spent the past year stockpiling the token. He argues that Bitcoin has been exposed as a purely speculative asset, failing to take off as a debasement hedge similar to precious metals. He cited the fall in the crypto as particularly to blame for the recent collapse in gold and silver, as corporate treasurers and speculators needed to de-risk by selling profitable positions in tokenized gold and silver futures. Do you agree with that assessment and that connection between silver and gold and Bitcoin?
Well, some of it. Clearly, when, quote unquote, everything is levered and you have a deleveraging going on, quote unquote, everything is coming down. The one thing I framed Bitcoin as something that still wants to decide what it wants to be when it grows up. And part of the reason why I've said that is that unlike gold, crypto has consistently been highly correlated with risk asset, with the S&P 500. So when risk is off, when the S&P goes down, crypto goes down. Obviously not every day, but quite a bit consistently. Whereas precious metals have a long-term correlation of zero towards risk assets, correlation phases in and out. And so sure, in a downdraft, when there are speculators in gold or silver, it can be taken down. But I think gold has shown that it has a different dynamic. And so, but at the other end of the spectrum, sure, if Bitcoin continues to plunge, those who have levered up on crypto, including those special purpose companies, they can suffer disproportionately, to put it kindly.
But the impact on these tokenized gold and silver futures, I mean, a small role in the pullback, or is it just a case of gold and silver, Axel, running up so much, and so a pullback of some sorts was to be expected?
Well, when a product is based on derivatives and a lot of attention has been focused on this Chinese silver ETF, the Chinese don't have many investment options, and so they tend to pile into a product. And when that product is based on derivatives, it's a recipe for disaster. In the US, we have margin requirements. They tend to increase when volatility goes up. That's a healthy mechanism for correction. Remember, the purpose of these rules, be that from the regulator, from exchange, is not to prevent you from making a stupid decision, but that your stupid decision doesn't wreck the system as a whole. And so I mentioned that because the fallout is limited if the system is well designed. Now, clearly on the crypto side, a lot of unregulated products, but we've seen a natural selection there. And so, yes, there may be some spillover because the speculator might be active in one more than one area. And last year, speculators have kind of gotten back to precious metals where they used to be before they were meme stocks. But overall, I think we see it unfold here, right? There's increased volatility, but gold bounced back. We're just around 5,000. And so that's much healthier than on the crypto side where the animal spirits are the beginning and the end of everything.